Hey, how's it going? It's me, Elliot. I've noticed something rather alarming in this political landscape of this wonderful country of ours in the past couple of years, but mostly over the course of this year, to be honest. Now, there's no secret that the United States at the moment is basically about as politically divisive as 1930s Germany, but alas, for some reason we seem to have this odd instinct where we want to push and push and push until that affects our country as well. Take someone like Pauline Hanson, for example. Her entire job is basically to spin radicalised nonsense and not be able to actually back up any policies, but just stand up in Parliament and say, I don't think Asians should be coming into our country. She used to be pretty big on boat people, but upon realising that hasn't actually been an issue for about 15 years, she's now suddenly whinging about shopping bags.
Buy these cheap rubbish bags that split and break on you all the time. So for the cost of living, I'm telling Woolies and Coles, get your act together.
All I'm saying is that if you can buy that level of red meat, then you can just bring a fucking reusable bag, Pauline. But the big thing about that right-wing politics in Australia is the fact that we seem to be taking all these popular talking points in America that aren't actually that much of an issue here and perpetuating them in order for these parties to gain more votes.
Can't even teach maths without taking into consideration Indigenous culture or perhaps sustainability.
And as you say, you've got grade 2s and grade 3s, but teachers being encouraged to invoke sort of Indigenous dance.
Shows the effectiveness of Sky News journalism. I mean, he hardly makes his way through any sentence that isn't, it's gone too far. He also doesn't list any prominent examples of what exactly this Aboriginal stuff taught to Year 2s is. I mean, in Year 11, we were taught mapping systems, I believe it was, in maths, but it was something that we lightly touched upon for a day, so exactly what takeover he's talking about, I'm not sure, in a country where it occurred, so it makes sense to teach it. Who knows? Have a look at what's going on over in Victoria at the moment. They're about to face a state election in about a year's time. So, what is the media doing? Or specifically the Murdoch press, which runs about 90% of the mainstream media. Every time I hear about Melbourne, it's described as this dystopian hellscape ridden with crime. Bringing them out here to be able to say, well, we shouldn't be bringing immigrants into this country because all they do is create crime, because a white person would never, ever, ever commit crime. The only reason mainstream media wants the coalition to be in power is so that way they can control it. The cost of living crisis is terrible. We can't afford houses. At least this government is addressing that issue, unlike a certain coalition government for the decade that preceded them. Now look, I'm not going to sit here and say that Albo's the greatest Prime Minister we've ever had, but if the worst thing you can say about him is that he wasn't decked out in a suit and tie coming off of a plane from the United States when he wasn't making a media, appearance the second he stepped off, we can't be doing too bad. The parliamentary landscape in Australia is a bit boring at the moment, we can admit, and that's a good thing. I don't think anyone's going to miss the new scandal every week and the inability for a coalition government to hold one Prime Minister for more than a year at a time. Okay, I quite literally just stopped recording, but can I just say, as soon as I opened up Twitter, I saw that Liberal MP had reposted straight porn onto his feed on Instagram, and I must say that is the funniest thing I've seen all day, and really does show the beautiful competence in, the coalition like that. So back to my original point, the United States. It seems that because it's becoming so popular to be politically divisive, that's what's causing all this big nonsense in the media of Labour is shit and does nothing, and the Liberal government's great and I want to suck Pauline Hanson's toes. Because for some reason it's cool to own the lefties at the moment, and so because there's a centre-left government, not left-wing government in power, it's just all we're going to be facing for the next few years. And, I mean, let's be honest, how long's the coalition going to go before they eventually get sick of each other again? But honestly, I don't think it's going to be seeing much of a difference. I think we're going to just become more and more divisive because that's what the Americans are doing, and that's what Sky News and Fox News and whatever Murdoch press want us to think. But honestly, I don't really see it getting much better over time. I think all we can really do is just ignore the heinous nonsense that comes out of that side of the mainstream media. I mean, it's not like the ABC does anything to help. I mean, fucking, what have they ever done? Let's be honest, guys. But hopefully people will be able to pick up on this, and I think most Australians do. I mean, just look at the landslide victory Labor had. But unfortunately, the thing with the internet is that it's just going to keep on bam, 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 and it won't ever stop, and all we can do is just look past it. So yeah, that's about it, really. This is new, probably, if you watch the YouTube, if you know who I am. This is nothing new, and you'll probably see more stuff like this in the future as exciting things unfold. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. Thank you.